holy smokes, the 49ers have wild news going on right now. There is so much going on that we're not even going to be able to get into all of it. We're just going to hone in on just a few key stories. But thank you so much for those of you that subscribe to this channel. Appreciate you. I'm making videos for you and appreciate all of you for getting in the comments and sharing your perspective on all this stuff. It's been wild, guys. It's been wild. But let's start today off with what Adam Schefter said on his podcast today about the 49ers, saying the roster is going to take some hits and everybody's going to feel it. Whoa. Okay, that's a statement in itself, but I'll keep going. I think that this is the start of what's going to be a busy offseason in San Francisco. Trading Deebo Samuel was the first move. It won't be the last move. What is your raw reaction when you saw that tweet or that information or heard that audio clip going out today? Because that's how I started my day. I kind of hadn't really checked social media until like middle of the day, and I saw this and I was like, whoa. This is Adam Schefter doubling down on the narrative he was spinning up yesterday. And we talked about that in yesterday's video. You should go check it out. But it's crazy what's going on right now. I think the 49ers want Adam Schefter out there. They're feeding him information so that he is sharing this narrative, not as a manipulative. Well, it might be kind of manipulative, but not because Schefter is doing something intentionally manipulative, but because there's information that Schefter has access to that's interesting, and it's just coming from somebody, inside source, I think, that wants everyone to believe that's what's going to happen. The fact that it's continuing to go deeper tells me that that he's not wrong here, that there will be more things coming. So let's get into some of those changes, some of which already happened. Speaking of which would be, this is another thing Adam Schefter said. I got something else in just a second. I forgot about this first. The 49ers are expected to lose Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, according to Adam Schefter via his own podcast. This is the quote. They are going to lose talent in free agency. Talanoa Hufanga is going to be gone. I think Dre Greenlaw is going to be gone as well. So this is unfortunate news. This is a different report, and this is coming from Adam Schefter, so I'm going to take it with a lot more clout than I would take some of the other reports that I've shared with you in the past on this channel. If Adam Schefter says it's looking like Dre Greenlaw is gone, then it's probably heading in that direction. He is wrong sometimes. I mean, these are just predictions, and he's making a prediction, and he knows that it's not a guaranteed surefire thing that Dre Greenlaw is going to be somewhere else, but it's looking that way. I don't know exactly what that means, but my gut instinct is to believe that that means the 49ers are looking for, one, promotion from within, guys like D. Winters getting more opportunities this upcoming season. Two, you can't draft every single position on the football field, but you do have 11, maybe even 12 picks if things shape out the right way with like Aaron Banks' deal and things like that. You know, the 49ers could end up with 12 picks potentially heading into the draft. So that could help you in some respects, but you can't draft rookies at a lot of these positions. And I think linebacker, if I adhere to the belief, and there are many out there who believe this, I'm not the only one, that linebacker is one of the hardest positions to draft in the modern NFL, just because of how different the college football game is from the NFL, plus what is asked of the linebacking core. It's just a different thing, okay? Can you do it? Of course you can. It's just risky to do it early on in the draft because it's so hard to predict. That being said, the 49ers do have the opportunity, of course, with this number of draft picks to go out there and try and get some guy. And there's some interesting looking dudes that can play, that could be potential like edge rushing / linebacking options there. So that's that. There's also a handful of guys that in free agency that are decently priced. I want to say Jamie Sherwood was one of them, but now I'm wishing I'd pulled the numbers up on that beforehand. I think I can probably get them up fairly quickly. But anyway, you get where I'm coming from. I don't know if I guess I could. So the point being though, Talanoa Hufanga, there's no surprise there that folks believe he's gone. We believed he was gone. We've said that for a long time. The interesting one for me, and Jamie Sherwood, by the way, I got his contract up here. The interesting one for me is Dre Greenlaw, because because of what he's meant to this football team and because of how tragic things ended. Maybe it's just cutting ties and it's hard for me because of the Super Bowl loss and there's still pain there. I'm not sure what it is, but it is a bummer. It is a bummer for me. I would have loved to see Dre Greenlaw healthy. I would love to see the 49ers, last offseason extending Dre Greenlaw for a massive deal. And, it's just a bummer because I really believed he was the Navarro Bowman to our Patrick Willis or Fred Warner, if you get what I'm laying down there. But Jamien Sherwood, 7.75 AAV projected by PFF. He is per PFF, and I'll tell you, I've seen some other lists where he is much higher up on the list, so I'm not going to say this like it's gospel or anything, but Dre Greenlaw coming in at the highest ranked linebacker, followed by Zach Bond, which is pretty amazing when you think about it, considering Zach Bond was all pro this season. Needs more seasons to prove it, though, doesn't he? Then Nick Bolton, then Bobby Wagner, then Ernest Jones, then Jamien Sherwood. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the 6th highest ranked free agent linebacker currently available to the 49ers. That is Jamien Sherwood. And I would love that move. I'd be good with that move. It is not Dre Greenlaw. But the reason we needed Dre Greenlaw, guys, is because we had Nick Sorensen as our defensive coordinator. No offense, Nick Sorensen, but we did not have life on the team outside of Fred Warner. We just didn't have the energy, and Malik Mustafa, we'll give him credit too. And Deommodore Lenoir, we'll give him credit too. But outside of those guys, we were missing an energy that when Dre Greenlaw got on the field, all of a sudden we had found something. We had our mojo back. It was crazy. Okay, I'm moving on. I can't talk about this too long because otherwise you guys are just going to click off and be like, all right, I've heard enough about Dre Greenlaw. All right, Jeremy Fowler puts this tweet out announcing that teams were notified that the 49ers defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, who will be a post-June 1 release by the team, is healthy coming off of his tricep injury per sources. He will be available to sign March 12th, start of the new league year. So that means basically today of next week, he's gone. Javon Hargrave is on his way. The 49ers have said that they're interested in signing Javon Hargrave if it works out in free agency, but most people believe that is unlikely and that's not going to happen. Interesting take from David Lombardi on this one. 49ers already slashed remaining year's non-guaranteed salary off of Javon Hargrave's contract, saving roughly $40 million. The post-June 1st cut will open up $2.2 million of 2025 cap space. They were interested in re-signing Hargrave at a lower price, but Lynch now doesn't seem to think that will be possible. I'd argue if I could. I think this is a fair point. But yes, David Lombardi is on the liberal side of where the 49ers financial situation is right now. And I hope he's right. Because I certainly don't know more than he does about salary cap situations. But the way he describes it, the 49ers are doing just fine. We're going to be just fine. We're going to be okay. So I hope that he's right. I don't have any reason to doubt him other than what national media seems to believe, and that narrative seems to be slightly different. So again, is the national narrative coming from the 49ers because the 49ers want all these contract negotiations to be under the guise of the 49ers are in a tight spot and we have a lot to work out financially? I don't know. That'll be an interesting one to think. But one final story we have to get to, this one, just more wild news. But the 49ers starting offer per Jason La Canfora. The 49ers starting offer for quarterback Brock Purdy's contract extension is reportedly $45 million per year. Okay, so there you go. The starting offer is $45 million. What does that tell you? What is the, I don't know if the hidden truth is the right phrase here, but what is the move behind the move? What is clear about how the contract negotiations are going so far? I think it's pretty obvious to start. The contract negotiations are not going the way that everyone hoped they would. The 49ers, if this report is true, and it seems fairly credible, I checked around on a few other channels outside of just our SF 49ers, which tends to be decent, in my experience at least. It seems to be legit, and there are a lot of people talking about this number, okay? Claims are claims, all right? and these claims come out because either the agent wants that number out there or because the team wants that number out there. Typically, that's usually how this goes. So $45 million per year, the starting number. Let's say Brock Purdy's agent, not happy about it, wants to leak this number out there. It's not coming through the general, typical sources, which would tell me that it probably is coming from Brock Purdy's agent. And he's leaking this number out there because he wants everybody to know. Brock Purdy's way better than this. What is going on? Why are the 49ers only offering $45 million AAV? That's crazy talk. And I'm assuming Brock Purdy's agent is asking for something closer to Dak Prescott kind of money. $60 million AAV, which is also not going to happen. Let's be fair. I think the truth behind all of this is that the 49ers and Brock Purdy are not close right now. Brock Purdy's agent, I should say. They're not close right now. They're not where they want to be in terms of getting this deal done, and that should be concerning to 49ers fans in a way. I do think there's a bright side, though. There's a positive in here that the 49ers and Brock Purdy's agent, there's a lot of drama going. Let's call it drama. We can call it whatever we want, but just for the sake of conversation, let's call it drama for a second. The drama is happening right now. It's March 5th, 2025, and the drama is happening right now. This is not when the drama was happening with Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, there was some drama going on, but it was more so about if the 49ers were going to trade him before the draft. So I think it's interesting from a contract point of view. We know there were offers on the table for Brandon Aiyuk for a better price, or Brandon Aiyuk was willing to take a lower price. Is that what it was? Now that I'm trying to remember, around this time last year, and the 49ers didn't budge, ended up paying more than they would have wanted to. I think there's always two parties in every contract negotiation, so that's the way that it goes. They do have to find a middle, of course, but I hope because of the way the drama is happening right now this early, that it is actually indicative that the 49ers and Brock Purdy and his agent are working really hard to try and get a deal done early. They're working really hard to try and get a deal done before April. And unfortunately, the sad side of it is that they're really far apart right now, probably. That's probably the honest truth. And I don't want to believe that, but it is the way that it is. So let me know what you guys think. How do you feel about the 49ers playing hardball on Brock Purdy? Because there's like the money side of me, the business side of me says, absolutely, they should be playing hardball. They do need to take care of a lot of players. They do need to put a team around this guy. So play hardball. You should always play hardball. We don't want to give more money than we need to, right? I guess there's the business side. But there's another side of me, the human side of me, let's call it, that looks at what Brock Purdy has done for this football team. Taking them to the NFC Championship game, and apart from an injury, could have gone to the Super Bowl, should have gone to the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles. Next year, right after that, comes back from injury, playing through injury for half the season, takes the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Just inches away from bringing number 6 home. And the way that you reward this guy is by playing hardball with him. You know what I mean? Like, that's the human part of me is like struggling with that reality. I don't know if you do. I don't know if maybe you just, it's not my money. Like, figure it out, guys. Come on, get it done. Let me know in the comments where you're at on this. But for me, I think the shrewd thing to do is to play a little bit of hardball. But please, 49ers, please do not take this too far. Please don't draw this out. I think the amount of stuff that's coming out right now, the amount of information that's flowing through ESPN, through Schefter, through guys who are breaking news like Jason, I think all of this stuff happening is because the 49ers and Brock Purdy's agent are working really hard on a deal, and they are genuinely going back and forth, and they are holding a hard line, but I don't believe that. I believe that they must be at least making some kind of strides in this conversation for both parties to be leaking information to try and get other parties to move. They've got to be, this feels aggressive to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Of course, I think the interesting thing about this, going back to the very beginning of the video, Adam Schefter's talking about how there's huge change incoming. The 49ers there's going to be a lot of turnover this offseason. I think there's a lot to pay attention to, so subscribe so you don't miss out on all of that. Of course, we still have 50 days until the 2025 NFL draft, when things are going to become a lot more clear. Between now and then, we are a week away from free agency. Moves are happening in the NFL. It's an exciting time, so make sure you're tuning in every day so you don't miss out on all of that. And definitely join in the comments. Really interesting chat, really interesting takes. A lot of folks not afraid to disagree, and I respect you for that. That's what I love about talking sports. There's so much invested in it. All of us are somehow so invested in it, and also have so many differing opinions, even from the same fan base, which is just makes it super fun and really interesting. Appreciate you guys, and hope you guys have a fantastic Wednesday night.